everybody. This is my dog Roscoe, and this is my fiance Michael. And my dog is eating something. Okay. This is Roscoe. Anyways, so today we're going to be talking about haunted places in South Carolina. I'm going to be talking about White Point Gardens in Charleston, South Carolina. And my dog lives. And Michael is going to be talking about Seven Devils Bridge in Woodruff, South Carolina. Alright, so let's get straight down to it. I'm going to be talking about White Point Gardens. They're located in Charleston, South Carolina. What does he have? Okay, my dog is eating Play-Doh. Okay. Anyways, well, Charleston is known as the place where history comes alive. Well, White Point Gardens is the place where pirates are most likely known to be home. It was found in 1670 by a crew of colonists. It's also, excuse me, it's also known as Oyster Point. When they first came, or found White Point, it had a bunch of oysters. Then they changed the name to White Point because the oysters became bleached by the sun, so it became known as White Point. Their first governor of the colony was Colonel William Sale, and it was colonized in 1679. There are lots of reasons why this part, particularly this part of Charleston, is haunted. There was a hurricane in 1752, and it killed hundreds of the colonists because they had, literally just gotten there. So they didn't have enough time to build really good homes, so a lot of people died. The War of 1812 was also fought in that area, so more people were killed there. Also the Civil War happened because Fort Sumter, I've actually been there. Fort Sumter is actually a very nice place to visit. It was actually right across the way from White Point Gardens. What?
You gotta take a boat.
Yeah, I took a boat. Yeah, you have to take a ferry across. But yeah, you have to go by boat. Because it's directly across from where the... Yep, basically. Pirates is actually the main reason why this historical landmark is haunted.
Captain Jack Sparrow.
Blackbeard is one of the more famous pirates.
Edward Teach.
Yes, Edward Teach. One of the most famous pirates who blockaded Charleston in 1718 and took over the town. He threatened to kill a bunch of people, but he just wound up taking a bunch of their shit and just left, basically. Stede Bonnet is a lesser famous pirate, but he did team up with Blackbeard, and they did blockade Charleston again. But anyways, so he got captured with 30 of his men, and they were imprisoned at Half Moon Battery. He escaped, but was recaptured. All of his men, so those 30 men that were with him, were hanged at the gallows at White Point. After he was recaptured on December 10th, 1718, Stede was then hanged himself on the same gallows as his men. The estimate is over 50 pirates were hung from the same exact gallows. There are also other ghosts. One of the more famous is Lavinia Fisher, who was the first female mass murderer in the U.S. Her ghost has been spotted at Unitarian Cemetery, which is odd because she wasn't even buried there. So nobody knows why she appears there, but she's also been spotted at the old jail. which is where pirates, prisoners of war, murderers, and slaves were all taken when they did something wrong. So basically, obviously, it was a prison. And a lot of hangings occurred there. So that's a lot of the reasons why Charleston is so historical and definitely haunted. And you can actually go and have tours, ghost tours. There are a bunch of ghost tours around Charleston, and probably some that basically just stay around White Point. There's a lot of historical places. I'm not going to name them all, but there are quite a few. Alright, your turn. Seven Devils Bridge.
Seven Devils Bridge. Woodruff.
It's Woodruff, yeah.
Oh, well, I live in South Carolina. Not a lot of history on it. People in Woodruff. You know what? I'm just going to tell them the story because I can't read this. Okay, so
Yeah,
me and her actually were thinking of visiting Seven Devils Bridge on a night where we were just going to do everything haunted around us. And for those that don't know, I live near Asheville, which is the gay capital of the South. So it is what we call it around here. But so there's not really much to do in this town. So we were going to go to South Carolina and just see all the scary stuff. And Seven Devils Bridge seemed awesome because 7 slaves were hung there. And
Yes.
apparently, if you drive across it,
You can't drive. It's only a walking bridge.
oh well, apparently
There's a newer bridge right next to it
Yeah.
or something that you can drive over, but the original Devil's Bridge where the slaves were actually hung, you can only walk across it. But I'll let you tell them what happens if you walk across it at midnight.
apparently you start crying and break down and go mad for a while. And I was
Yeah,
like,
you
"That
go
sounds
mentally
awesome."
insane and you cry and scream uncontrollably. There actually were some people have claimed to have sat on the bridge and seen green lights off in the distance. A couple of paranormal investigators, Aaron Sprouse and Maxwell Alexander, did a thorough South Carolina paranormal investigation, and they believe it isn't haunted. I mean, they went at midnight, they walked across the bridge, they did whatever. So that I don't think is haunted, but there's also footage on YouTube of strange shadows and shapes on the bridge, and a lot of strange noises. So I guess go check that out. I didn't watch it per se, but I'm sure it's good and creepy. And some people have actually never found the bridge. Even though you can go online and basically find it, some people have never actually found it. I don't know why it's so hard to find, but I guess it's just covered up with weeds. I don't know. But, I guess, stop throwing shit at the camera, you. I guess it's more up to you whether you believe it's haunted or not. Stop it. Wow. Yeah, so that's all I have for stop it, you shitbag. I love you, but stop it. Stop it.
You're just mad because you don't have any ammo.
Okay.
Throw whatever I want.
That's all
at you.
I've got for y'all today. And tomorrow I'll be finishing up my South Carolina series. And I'll be starting on haunted places in North Carolina. So,
Can I end the video?
bye. What?
Damn it, I missed.